You're not going to find a conference like this that is attending to the need for impacting and changing and modifying the culture in youth sports than this.
To have people that have experience and expertise and knowledge on culture and how to create culture and the components of culture, I'm super excited. I can't wait. I mean, my head's blown apart trying to process it all. It's moving pretty fast, but I'm really excited about knowing that this is available as a resource for me, and then I've got an access to some people that can really help me build better culture, not only with myself and my staff, but the athletes that we coach.
Well, for me, this was as much, if not more, of a personal development type of experience as it was a professional development kind of experience. And what I loved about it is that you're with 60 or so people through the entire experience together, and it's not broken off into separate like presentations or separate workshops where you're picking and choosing what you're going to. It was kind of a set program, and I loved it because we're experiencing it together and you're really making connections with everybody at the conference. It was really powerful that way.
I think one of the biggest differences of this conference is I feel like I got answers and I got solutions to issues and questions I may have had, and reaffirmed some beliefs, whereas a lot of conferences it's a lot of people talking about ideas but not really telling you how to put things into practice, and I feel like I got a lot of ideas about how to practice things and do things.
It's not about X's and O's. It's about culture. It's about establishing culture. It's not about, I love they're talking a lot about culture is not an event, it's a process. So this is part of that process. It's just learning, connecting with other guys. There's going to be great connections that come out of this where we can throw ideas across each other, whether it's in a Facebook group where we're all in there together and just say, hey, what do you think about this idea? How do we get kids to do more free play? So just the connections and just that culture focus versus X's and O's. There's a lot of clinics out there that are about X's and O's. So this has been awesome about culture.
Creating culture, it's a process, not an event.
You want an outcome? Be aware of the power of your influence and make sure that what you're doing is correct.
What were the qualities that made your coach great? Was connection more than knowledge.
Don't ever tell people you have a job. You have a calling. We're coaches. We make a difference. It's about giving. I want to invite you to join me in a ritual that I do whenever I'm called upon to speak, to perform, to work with groups of people like yourselves, coaches, athletes, whatever it is. And I do this ritual, and I actually want you to do it. Understand that I'm going through this as I'm speaking, so it's a process instruction, you know what I'm saying? The process is going on. So I'm going to turn the switch on right now. So right now, what I'm trying to do is I am, as your coach and you're my athletes, what I'm doing is I am opening the door to my heart. And I want to invite you all in. I want you to step in. And if you're doing that right now, then I'll step into your heart, okay? And the reason why I do this is because it helps me to connect with you right now. It does. I have a whole, it's not a mindset, it's a heart set. I feel connected. I look at your faces, your eyes are upon me, you're smiling, and I feel like we're breaking down barriers as I speak. And I want you to do that. I want you to do that when you work with people. I want you to be with coaches. I encourage with athletes. I want you to know that it's from here up. It always starts here. But too many of us, and I know I did this too many years, I started here with all of my X's and O's and all of my information, and I got a ton of information. But if I don't start here, so when I do this, not only do I connect, I set a tone. And that tone is one of, we've got some work to do. And it's not just superficial. I'm not here to fix anything. I'm not a good fixer. Ask my wife, Jan. I don't fix much at all. But what it allows me to do is it allows me to go a little deeper, which is really what you want with your athletes. You want to, and they crave it. This is my experience. This isn't the gospel, according to Jerry. It's an experience I've had. I notice after 52 years how the athletes I work with and the coaches I work with really crave what I'm talking about. They want that closeness. They want to feel important. They want to feel validated. And I'm going to show you tonight how to do that. I'm going to give you the steps that I have discovered from working with all of these wonderful, amazing people. Now, if I'm not successful in doing this, you know what you're going to get? You'll get something. You're going to get a dissemination of information. All right? Now, I know that you could read all the books and get all the information you need. And not only that, you can go online today. And you can find out anything you want. You want X's and O's for lacrosse? You can get it. But you're not going to get what we're talking about at this conference.
I have done this exercise on 3 continents, on multiple countries, and whenever I ask a room of coaches, list the qualities of the best coach that you ever had, the wall always looks the same, right? It always looks the same. When we break it up, it's about 90-10 to 80-20, that what were the qualities that made your coach great was connection more than knowledge. Just show of hands, who didn't put any under knowledge? Yeah, so that's about normal, about a quarter to a third of the room. Is that because X's and O's don't matter? They did not matter? Of course they matter, right? But that's not the thing that makes a coach great, right? Very few corporate CEOs get fired because they're not smart enough. Right? But they can't build culture and they can't connect. And it's the same thing with leaders in sport. And the biggest problem that we have, and it's not just an American problem or Canadian problem, it's all around the world, is that every room, every coach, when they say, what are the qualities of the best coach you ever had? They go connection over knowledge. But then when I say, when you go and do coaching education, where do you spend 90% of your time? Studying what? Knowledge. Studying X's and O's. And so I'm not saying that that doesn't matter, because of course it matters. But it's insufficient to just do that. Now I'm talking to a room here of people who came to spend 3 days studying everything except X's and O's. So I am preaching to the choir here. But most of my talks are just to coaches who are running around. And, I always say to them, if you're waiting, if you think that there's some magic drill out there that as soon as you find it, everything's going to go kumbaya on you, it's not there. Right? It's not there. I've watched some of the best coaches work. Pep Guardiola, Man City now, when he was with Bayern Munich. Hey, he doesn't do any magic soccer drills. He doesn't do anything I haven't done for years. He just does them a hell of a lot better than I do. Right? That's it. And it's this ability to connect. So, what are some of the things, we can just kind of shout these out popcorn style, what are some of the things that you put on this board right here? Inspirational. Motivating. Trusting. Caring. Didn't judge. Fun. Passionate. Demanding. Empathetic. Belief. They believed in you? Yeah. Yeah. What was that? Communicator. Good boundaries, yes. Charismatic, appreciative. All these qualities, fun, right? And you have your own thing, what made your coach that person. So the first 10,000 of these things, I actually kept all the sticky notes and I tallied them up. It was a phenomenal math project for my 6- and 8-year-old at the time. Right, I have a box of yellow sticky notes and they sorted them. The number one answer, more than double any answer, what was the quality of the best coach you ever had, was caring. Caring. He or she cared about me, right, as a person first and an athlete second. Right? We don't coach a sport, we coach a person. And this was the #1 quality. And I talked to World Cup soccer players. I talked to one who played for a man named Clive Charles at University of Portland. Why do you love him? Right? Because he loved me as a person. So I would do anything for him as a player. Tomorrow we have a panelist coming in who played under and then coached with the best, maybe the best American soccer coach we ever had, a man named Jerry Yeagley. Why was Yeags your best coach? Because he made you feel like the most important person in the room. So this weekend, but when you leave here, and a lot of you influence others, your directors of coaching, your athletic directors, your directors of coaching for a sport in this country or another country, right? We have to get coaching education to start focusing on some of these softer skills, because they are skills. They can be learned. You can be a better communicator. You can be more passionate. You can do all these things.